Welcome to the Diane McClay Show, empowering life through choice. Get ready to discover new perspectives, motivation, and balance through Diane's compassionate storytelling and insightful discussions. Whether you're feeling stuck and discouraged or curious and looking for more possibilities, Diane has your back, and she's ready to take you on a journey of self-discovery and expansion. Choice is powerful, and so are you. The Diane McClay Show starts now.
Welcome in, everybody, to our third show, the Diane McClay Show, where we're here to empower you, your life through choice. I'm so excited to have two of my friends here today from two opposite corners of the world. But before we get started, today we're going to talk about waking up your life, how to recognize if you're awake, why it's important to wake up, especially now before 2021, and what to do if you don't even know that you have a sense of consciousness or a sense of awakeness, what to do if you are called to Earth's action. Welcome in two of my friends from the Pacific Northwest, Washington State, Cornelia Stephanie, New Earth Ambassador and gifted intuitive guide, whose work is about building universal wholeness for the planet. She's passionate about humanity's sovereignty, about maintaining authority over one's own life and empowered creation. She's the founder of the Empowered Network and empowers people on the path to self-healing, peace, and liberation in the human race. Welcome in, Cornelia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here.
Awesome. I'm so excited. And then from the opposite corner of the world, if we have four corners, from Brisbane, Australia, welcome in mindset mentor and light worker, Marguerita, whose mission is to liberate humanity from their limiting beliefs and the systems that have enslaved them by clearing stories and belief systems so they can realize their infinite power. Because all things are possible when you live life on your terms. Welcome in, Marguerita. I appreciate you being here.
Hey, I'm super excited to be here, Diane, and honored that you have asked me to be on your show. This is awesome.
Well, you know, we're on Transformation Talk Radio here, and we've got a great network from Dr. Pat to all of the amazing hosts to the support staff we have behind us. David's in the background producing our show. And this wouldn't be possible if we didn't have a collective body of individuals who believe in their message and who believe that they have a place in the world and who believe that the world isn't going to change if we don't put that message out there. So I'm super honored that the three of us get to be in this room today. I wish we had 2 hours to get into all of our conversations. But for our listening audience, let's talk about being awake. So to Marguerita, to you, the world's transforming right now, and there's a lot of chaos in it. Let's talk about that and what's happening, and why is it important for us to be awake before 2021?
Well, this is the year of disruption we've had to have, Diane. You know, there's a lot of people who are complaining about the year, and you know what? We called it in. Regardless of whatever story you believe about who started it, why it started, where it started, who's controlling and pulling the strings, we called this in as a conscious collective. We had to have this disruption because as a collective, we have been so unhappy for so long. We have been demanding change. And how do you create change? You have to have disruption. Without disruption, there is no way we would have global change. And to know that we are currently birthing a new consciousness onto this planet. Now, women who've had children know that birth is tough. It's painful. Now, this year didn't have to be painful. It depended on how you responded to it. If you reacted to this year, you've probably had a rough year. If you have responded to this year, if you have paid attention and you have actually started either been before you've done the work and you've been waking up, or you realize that you could no longer navigate your life with the same old systems and paradigms and beliefs, and you had to shift your awareness and you had to start waking up, then you will have had a much better year. And we're not going back to what it was. Thank God.
No, we're not.
Thank God. Like, this is the time that this is the ascension. It is the birth of the new consciousness. We have a whole new paradigm and experience waiting for us on the other side of this. But if we don't embrace it fully, if we don't wake up and really deliberately step into that consciousness that is seated in all of us and embrace our power, our beauty, our abundance, our love, our compassion, our peace internally, then how can we bring that into our external experience? I'm not even going to say reality, because this is all one holographic illusion. So that's a whole other show. But to bring that into our experience, we have to focus on it. And if we are to create a smooth transition, or as smooth transition as possible into the new consciousness, then we must pay attention. We must be as awake as we can possibly be.
And what I'm hearing,
question?
You do, and you open up a whole bunch more. But what I'm hearing, and to the listening audience, I have two really important foundational words on my wall behind me. One is choice over my left shoulder, and one is courage on my right shoulder. And what I'm hearing you say is that we have a choice on how we move forward. I'm hearing you say that we need to take the courage to step into things that are new and different and unusual for us. But we also have the choice on whether we respond and whether we react, and how that impacts our actions. So I want to take it to Cornelia. How about responding versus reacting in relationship to being awake, especially with your practices of sovereignty?
Yes, I just want to piggyback to, everything that Marguerite says is like ching, 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 check, check, check. That is all true, because we are returning to our true divine nature. The evolution of our consciousness is calling for it. We are too far already awake and aware of how strong we are, how capable we are, how able we are, how much love we have, what we're able to do. And there's really only two emotions, really, when we look at it. One is love and one is fear. And the fear emotion has been the emotion, when I look at the cycles that we've been living on this planet for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, we have been feeding the cycle of fear. 46,000 years we've been incarnating over and over and over again and feeding the cycle of fear. And now that part, like Marguerite said, that paradigm is over. It's done. We're too far awake because we know how to transcend the fear. We know how to face our fear and do it anyway. We know how to love away the fear. We know how to bring our wisdom, not weapons, to the destruction that has, laid before us. That's what it means to be awake and to remember the truth of who we are. And the truth of who we are is returning to our true divine nature. And so for the last 46,000 years that we've been living, we have been living everything that we are not, so that we can now live and remember and be everything that we are.
That's super beautiful. I'm going to just jump in here and just say that's where courage comes in, right? Because we have to be able to see where we were, and we have to have an intuition or a sense about where we want to be or how we get there. And we have to take a step forward. I like to tell my clients, it's really beautiful when you go out for a walk. Do you realize that literally at the same time, when you take one step forward towards the place you want to be, you are literally simultaneously taking one step away from the place you don't want to be. Like, that is the way our human body is designed as bipeds. Animals are a little bit different. Marguerite, you're nodding your head a lot about fear, and I feel like you're just like chomping at the bit to jump in and tag on. So Cornelia, sorry for interrupting, but let me jump into Marguerite and then we'll come back to you.
Sure. Yeah, I just want to back up Cornelia. What you said was so beautiful and so powerful, and really puts this in perspective. 46,000 years of fear-based paradigms. We are infinitely powerful beings when we are conscious, when we consciously and deliberately create our futures using the technology that we have available, which is this is our technology. And it is super powerful when we focus on what it is that we desire to create. we have infinite power to create anything. Absolutely anything is possible. And fear is the disruptor. Fear is the thing that comes in and actually it stops us from being able to create those fear-based from being able to create that future that we want, because the fear-based paradigms sends out such a strong vibration, and we're sending out conflicting messages. Oh, I really want this. Oh, but part of me is so scared to step into it, scared of the unknown, scared that I'll fail, scared that, it won't work out, scared that I'll look foolish, scared that I'll be rejected. There's so much fear. And we have no reason to fear anything. We are so powerful, such powerful entities. And it is time for us as a conscious collective to lean into that power, to embrace the courage, which is such a great word, Diane. Embrace the courage and choose to leave behind those fear-based paradigms that have not served us for 46,000 years and They cannot be a part of our future existence. It's just not possible.
I know in my own experience, this is actually so timely because Cornelia and I started working together a little over 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago when we first met. And I always had a desire to be seen and to be heard. I felt like I have an open throat where I can share good messages with people, but I had a fear of being on podcasts and doing a radio show. And Cornelia said, hey, I see you, and I want to help you live in a higher vibration in your personal life. What do you think about co-hosting with me? Or what do you think about doing your own show? And it literally, after the question and the invitation to step into something bigger happened, it literally, boom, 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 things just fired. And I am alive and I'm awake and I feel amazing that I get to interact with people like you and Cornelia and other people that I interview to help spread this message to our Transformation Talk radio audience and to people who might feel like they're not awake, but really they are. So I want to bring it back to Cornelia. How does being awake tie into developing our sovereign self, really having the courage to stand in our own power and not rely on someone else's?
Well, we have to remember, where do we get the power?
Right. And Marguerita, real quick, for our listening audience, Marguerita is pointing to her heart, and she was actually also pointing to her head. So just want to point that out, that our listening audience can't see us, even though our visual audience can. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So, where do we get the power? Where do we get the power? And in the old world, I always like to say the old world, new world. And the old world is, we've, used to give our power away to outside sources. Outside sources were, where we've given our power away to them, and then they had power over us. And in the new world, it is, where do you find the power today? And that is in this present moment, right here and right now. And it always comes down to those two words that you have on that wall there, comes right back down to choice and courage. Choosing right here, right now, to align with, I remember who I am, I know who I am, and finding and aligning with your true heart's desire. And you came here to evolve consciousness. That's why we're all here. We're here to assist this planet to move into a higher vibrational way of living and being. And that's why all of us, all the souls, have already chosen. It's just a matter of now, releasing that last bit of density to let go of what's no longer serving, but always coming back to the point of power is always in the present moment, and the time is always now.
What a beautiful segue without even knowing where I was going to go next, because Marguerite has a great story about letting go of something that she'd been working for 40 years. If our listening audience can go to her Facebook page or go to her website and hear the whole story, but real briefly, because we don't have a lot of time to get into all of it, can you do a brief introduction to this global conscious event, Marguerite, that you are coordinating and producing in Australia, coming up soon? And what is the thing that you let go of in order to bring this thing to its awakened conscious life?
Oh, I had to let go of so much, and I let go of so much in my past. So I trained so many years as an opera singer, and by the time I hit 40, 40 years of age, I didn't have an opera career. And, no matter how much talent somebody has and how much hard work somebody puts in, sometimes it just doesn't happen the way they want it to. And by 40, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And nobody wants a washed up 40-year-old opera singer who hasn't really got any runs on the board. So I sort of closed that door, and I started into my entrepreneurial journey, becoming a fitness trainer, mindset coach, healer, opening up my capacity as a light worker, an energy and sound healer. But the story that you're referring to is how we come full circle, because there's a part of me, I've never given up on my what I know I'm born to do, and that is to impact humanity. And with my light work, because I'm a sound healer and a channel, the training that I did as an opera singer, I actually sing something called light language, which is incredibly transformational and so impactful. And just a few weeks ago, I can't tell you the whole story, but just a few weeks ago, some random sort of events birthed this event, which happened in under 24 hours. I was sort of sparring on Facebook with a friend about doing a concert, because I haven't sung properly for 10 years, about doing some little, country, because I live out in the country, some little country Christmas concert. All of a sudden, a couple of guys got involved in the conversation. We now have this global event, which is all about waking up humanity. We are live, we are broadcasting it live all across the world. We are putting this massive production on, which is a dream come true for me. I'm a diva through and through. So for me to be front and center, it's everything I have ever really dreamed of. I just didn't realize I could have it all in one package. I'm singing opera. I'm singing Christmas carols. I'm singing my light language sound healing. We have crystal bowl sound healing. We have a didgeridoo sound healer. We have Aboriginals coming in to do a traditional, ancient welcome to country and smoking ceremony, which they have been doing for thousands of years to connect with source and to connect with that infinite power that is within all of us, that creative source of creation.
I wish I could be there. I wish I could get on a plane and fly right away. I'd grab Cornelia and I'd grab all my enlightened friends, and I wish we could sit on your grassy knoll. We're going to actually show where people can get a hold of a ticket for that Christmas concert. People can find it on your Facebook page. It'll be on my website. It'll be loaded to our YouTube pages. But this is the point where courage is not necessarily always about stepping into something. Sometimes it can be about stepping away from something, like you letting go of that dream to sing on an opera stage. So I want to congratulate you for the journey you've taken about being able to recognize that letting go also allows you to step forward. So we only have a couple of minutes left in our show, really. This morning, before I want to connect our listeners to one of the other things that connects us, and then I promise we'll get a chance to tell people how they can look into that Christmas concert. But I'm very connected to nature. Marguerite, you are. Cornelia, you are. And this morning, randomly, all of us went about our morning, and we all got presented with an animal. Cornelia, you were on a river beach in Washington, and eagles showed up. A kangaroo, of course, showed up for you on your walk to the top of a hill. And for some reason, I got a flock of wild turkeys. Can we talk real quick? Can we connect our listening audience? And David, if you could roll those photos. Can we connect our listening audience to the nature that we get to embrace, and answer the question for us? What do you get when you go to nature, and why is it important, especially now, for people to look for ways to connect to their own nature? Marguerite, go ahead.
Me very quickly, when I connect to nature, I come back to me. I reconnect to myself, because nature just is. And, that's a beautiful question for what you stand for, because I get so much courage when I go on my walks. I do live in the country. I'm very fortunate, but also I chose this life. I chose where I live, which is surrounded by nature in the country. And my walks, I go to the top of the lookout that's only a few hundred meters from my place. And I just get so much courage. If I'm grappling with something and I'm feeling the fear coming in, by the time I get to the top of that lookout, oh my Lord, I have solved all the problems of the world. I've solved all the problems that I've got. I come down and I'm like, yes, we're going to do this. And I'm smashing it out. I just love being connected to nature. I can't do without my walks.
So tell me real quick, what did you, explain for our listening audience, when you came across the kangaroo, what did you feel in your body?
Oh, I just feel so much joy because they're such gorgeous creatures, and we're surrounded by them here. There was another 4 outside our front gate this morning. And they're just so innocent. There's such an innocence, but they're very connected, obviously, to nature and the cycles of nature. So it's just a sense of total joy and peace when I see them. It's just glorious.
And thanks for that. Cornelia, tell me a little bit about what you experienced on your Pacific Northwest beach. And you were actually having a conversation with me, and then you got distracted because you kept saying there's eagles above me. What resonated in your body, and what was the message that brought to you about your consciousness in the world and your connection to nature?
Well, I really feel like, initially in my beginning of my awakening, not knowing what my values were really important. And being in nature, being part of nature, coming back to nature is part of my value. It is what nourishes me. It is what, nourishes me. It's what feeds me. So even, this morning early, who's out in the morning before, the sun comes up? But here I am in the woods, down by the river, and I'm smelling the earth and the air, and it's wet outside and it smells beautiful, and the birds are talking, and the earth is coming alive, and the eagles are flying. And I always think right away, what is the spiritual communication between the animal? What is the animal world teaching me? And, the eagle is the eagle's eye flying over your life and looking at it from on high. I'm going to look at what kangaroo means. I want to look and see what that means, because now that it's in my field, I have to look it up. I don't know the meaning of the kangaroo. But thank you for that question, and thank you for this show and the topics that you so courageously bring.
Absolutely. We've got about 2.5 minutes left. I'm going to tell the audience what I get from nature. It reminds me to look. It reminds me to slow down. And it reminds me, today I was listening to and watching a flock of wild turkeys in my neighbor's field, and I heard 6 different calls. There's a message from the scout. There's a message from the leader. There's a message of a hen who's trying to be found. And what it reminded me is that nature has a message. A collective consciousness has a message. It may not be verbal. It may not be physical. It may just be vibrational, or through sound or smell or sight. And I invite our audience to find that, because I think that as we move into 2021, it's going to be more important. So we have 2 minutes left, one for each of you. Can you tell people, Marguerite, what is the best way for people to find you? And I will make sure we transcribe it and put it on my website as well as the YouTube. How do people find you and know about the Christmas concert?
Well, they can find me on Facebook, connect with me there. But more than anything, I really want to get the word out about this concert. It is $10 for a global live stream ticket to experience all the magic that we have planned. Go to globalconsciousnessevents.com and just buy your ticket for $10. I also have an incredible promotion where I'm offering 2 of my most powerful and popular wealth transformation programs for free for doing a few things to help us promote this, but you'll get all that info when you buy your ticket and become a part of our community at globalconsciousnessevents.com.
globalconsciousnessevents.com. I know I've bought my tickets for a couple of my friends, and there's details about how people can get that program on your Facebook page. Cornelia, what is the best way for people to connect to you when they're waking up their global consciousness and their sovereignty? How can people find you?
Always find me at Transformation Talk Radio on Fridays at here on the network, and you can Transformation Talk Radio Facebook page. You can go to my YouTube channel, Cornelia Stephanie YouTube, and we're always uploading videos there. And you can also meet with me on the second Saturday of every month, where I lead a spiritual meetup group for women. And you can find out that information on my Facebook page, Cornelia Stephanie Facebook. So
awesome.
CorneliaStephanie.com is also.
I got to wrap it up. We all have YouTube things. Here's the thing. I'm sorry that we had to rush through this. For the listening audience, please tune in again on the second and fourth Friday at 1:30 to be empowered through life with the Diane McClay Show. And if something today made you feel awake or alive or alert, I'm old school. Send me a text, 503-317-8072, or call me, 503-317-8072. Let me know how awake you are feeling. I'm Diane McClay with your Choice and Courage coach, reminding you that I see you and I believe in you.
Thank you for listening to The Diane McClay Show, where you are empowered to enact change in your life through choice. You know that little voice in your head that's been telling you to pursue that passion project? Or maybe it's been screaming for you to go outside and explore the great outdoors. That voice is you, and you deserve to be heard. Listen, make a choice, make a change, and watch yourself grow. For more information about Diane or to work with her personally, visit DianeMcClay.com.
Views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the station, its management, or advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.